In this video, we're going to learn about Boolean indices. In Python, 0 is equivalent to false and 1 is equivalent to true. On the other hand, true is also equivalent to 1 and false is also equivalent to 0. And to prove that, we can say, for example, is true or equal to 1? The answer is yes. But if I do is 1 equal to true, the answer is true. Likewise for the 0 and false, just to prove that. And that proves to be really interesting because excuse me, sometimes we'd like to have, for example, one of two options or use one of two indices like index 0 or index 1, and instead of using 0 and 1 we can use true and false. Let's have a look at this simple example. Let's say we have a variable c equals 12, and then here notice I have three conditions: c greater than 1, c less than 20, and c equals 1. If this is true, this is going to be 1. If this is false, this is going to be 0. If this is true, it's going to be 1. So c is 12. Is c greater than 1? The answer is yes, so that's true, that's 1. Is c less than 20? The answer is yes, so that's true. And is it 12? The answer is yes, so the answer here is going to be 3. 1 plus 1 plus 1, true plus true plus true. If we run that, we get 3, right? If we change the value of c and run it, we get 2 because this is going to be false, so it's going to be 1 plus 1 plus 0. I hope the idea makes sense. In fact, we can even make more interesting things with this logical Boolean indices. So a Boolean test can be used as an index, okay? Maybe for an array or a tuple, like we said, maybe we want to access the first or the second elements. So if I, for example, wanted to create a toggle button, like on and off button or play and pause button or something like that, basically to have the opposite of the current state all the time. So if it's true, we want false. If it's false, we want true. We can do that. We can say, for example, state equal true, and then here we have a tuple of true and false, and then we'd like to access, if we wanted the first element, which is element of index 0, then we can use false. If we wanted the second element, which is element of index 1, then we can use true. And notice here what I'm doing here, I have a tuple true and false, and then I'm saying make state equal true or false. The tuple give me the element of the current value of state. So if a state is true, then I'm gonna have basically this tuple, the second value, because value of index 1 of this tuple is going to be false. If state is false, it's going to return me the value at index 0, so it will toggle the state. So if I run that, and then I double check, state now is false, and then if I run it again, state is going to be true, right? Hope the idea makes sense. State now is false, do it again, and state now is true. False, true, false, true, it toggles the state. And this can be used to do more interesting things. For example, here I have a list of blood pressure values. I made this up. These values have nothing to do with reality. I just made them up. And then what if I wanted to classify each individual here, each value here, into one of two categories, either normal blood pressure or high? Of course, I can have an if statement if I wanted that. If value larger than this, then it's true. Otherwise, it's false or normal or high. But here I'm using the same trick. I have a tuple here of normal and high, and then here I'm using the index, right? And I'm using that in a list comprehension. I'm saying if for all the elements in blood pressure in this list, for all i's basically in this list, if I is greater than 120, if that condition is true, then that's going to be 1, so return me the value at index 1 of this tuple. If it's false, then that's equivalent to 0, give me back the first element. Okay, if I run that, then my list now has normal, normal, high, 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 and normal. I hope the idea makes sense of using the tuple and the index of the first or the second using the false or true. Nice and easy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.